Okay, welcome to Lab 4, Geoprocessing or using queries and overlay to solve a problem. So you're going to download the folder from Canvas, you're going to right-click, extract, and it extracts, and then you get your folder. In there is the outline, as usual. Here is the outline. I put a little bit more words in it this time, kind of experimenting with different labs, formatting and seeing what people prefer. So I'll take feedback if you have it. Do you like more words or less words on the outline? Some of them have been like clean and simple. Some are, this one, slightly more wordy. But yeah, feedback is appreciated. These are new and I expect to change them a few times. Okay, so you're going to start the lab by just double-clicking on that project file. So Pro is going to open, and this is what you should have when you start off. Alright, so it should look like that. The folder should be connected to, since you opened out of it, it's going to be your default folder. So your outputs are all going to end up here in this Lab 4 Geoprocessing one. So we're going to be using these layers over here that are inside the geodatabase to perform two different sets of analysis. The first one is going to be what I'm going to go through with you on this video. It shouldn't be very long. The second one you're doing all on your own. So it's a solve a problem using the skills that you have. You'll be able to do it. It'll be fun. It's kind of a critical thinking lab, which I like. Okay, so first thing, we're just going to go through this process to remind you or show you where the different geoprocessing tools are in Pro. You might not have used them before, but hopefully you've used them in desktop. And actually, all of the geoprocessing is not too different in Pro. In fact, I'm going to say it's easier. There's some improvements, which is good. You know, a new version of mapping software, they ought to improve some stuff. But first off, we're going to identify land near military bases in California. Identify critical habitats, so like endangered species habitats, and then where those habitats are in relation to military bases and the roads near them. So basically the output is where might military people be driving on or training on or possibly dumping stuff into habitat space. Nowadays, the military probably doesn't do much of that. And like, you know, Camp Pendleton, check out this link to their open space down here. Camp Pendleton does pretty carefully manage their open spaces. I was reading some more about it. They even have hunting there. So that's cool. Okay, so steps that we're going to do. We want to, in states, build a definition query so that states only shows California. So we're going to go right-click on states, properties, definition query. This is slightly different than it was in desktop. So query is where state name is equal to California. That's pretty nice and easy. You can also turn on the SQL button and it'll be, you can type that out. Or if like, hey, you want to learn SQL, not a bad idea where after you use the builder, click that button, you can see this is what it would look like in SQL, so that, you know, this pretty simple function is also pretty simple in SQL. Okay, so there's our query, okay, and all the states go away except California. Those are the counties that are left. So zoom in on California. There we go. this projection's bothering me. It might be bothering you too. Let's change that. We're going to go Map, Properties, Coordinate Systems, WGS 84. That's good, but it's in this Web Mercator. So it is WGS 84, which is good for like georeferencing, but let's go projected. UTM North America, and Southern California is zone 11. Let's see if we can find zone 10, because that'll be, oh, and we want, do they have WGS? Yeah, we want WGS Northern zone 10. There we go. That is better. Alrighty. Okay, so states, good. Next, select by attributes to identify federal land that is managed by Department of Defense. Okay, so we can do turn on FedLand. It's a whole bunch. Attribute table. And let's see what this looks. They should have it's AgBR. That might be Administrative Government Bureau or something. And DOD here is the field that we want. Other options, other. What is it? Just all DOD? Forest Service. National Park Service. Okay. BLM. Okay, so this has all government land. That's pretty cool. It's a good layer. So again, we're going to right click, or actually no. Yeah. Oh, we have it open already. My bad. Select by attributes. Input. FedLand. Yep. New selection, new expression, where AgBR is equal to DOD. And you can see the other options here. Alright. See what else you can do. Nope. Apply and OK. Alright, great. We can close that. So that is all military bases in the country. We're going to right click to export this to a new shapefile. Data, export. FedLand, output location. We do want to change that to, there we go, Lab 4 GDB. And output name is going to be mil bases. Okay. Alright, that's good. Yes, it's all the ones in the countries. It's not clipped by California yet. That's okay. There ends up being not that many of them, so it's not a huge deal. If it was, I don't know, a larger data set, then we might want to clip it to California to make it easier to process. That's a hint for later. Any large data sets, clip it down as small as you can. Okay, next, select by attributes to get ecoregions that are critical or endangered. So here's our ecoregions. All the land is part of an ecoregion. That makes sense. Attribute table. Let's see what the field is. Eco name. So okay, so that's the actual name of the ecosystem. Realm. Cool. Biome description. This is the actual biome, and then status: critical or endangered. Vulnerable. Great. Good for them. Relatively stable. Good for them. Priority. Oh, there's priority too. Yeah. Okay. So we just want the critical or endangered ones. So again, that's a select by attributes, ecoregions, new, no expression, where, status, yeah. That's nice. In desktop, you can't click on the attribute table. You have to know it ahead of time. Status is equal to critical or endangered. Apply. Okay. Close. Good. All right. Again, right-click, data, export. And we're going to call it eco-critical. Good. And we can just confirm that these are going into the right spot. Good. Yep. So if you right-click, refresh. You have to do that each time, unfortunately. But we've got mill bases and eco-critical. Okay, turn off the old one. Here's the new one. Those are all the critical ones. This is the South Coast ecoregion that if you live in Southern California, you probably live in. And it is one of the top 25 most biodiverse places on Earth. So good for us. Okay, next step. We're going to clip military base to California. So that's going to be, now we're getting into geoprocessing. So that's analysis. Most of the commonly used geoprocessing tools are here in this window. All the rest of them are here. So, you know, whatever might be faster, just do that, and then you can search. But hey, I know I'm clipping and it's right here. So clip. Input is, and if you forget how to do this, you can always use the question mark, and here we go. Input is the thing you are reducing. The clip feature is the cutting tool. Think of it like this cookie dough. Here's a cookie cutter. And then here's your output. It's cookie in the shape of the cookie cutter. Alright, so the input. Mill bases. Clip feature. California. Well, it's states, which is in the shape of California. And then we're going to call it, again, that default location. Lab 4. Name. CA military. Okay, save. Run. And this is nice. So you can view details right here. It tells you what's going on. Errors and warnings. None. Excellent. Default. No messages. Oh, there you go. So you can see how far along. Great. Okay. So now we can get rid of mill bases, and we've got CA military bases. Let's make that a more military color. Government. There we go. Okay. All right, next we want to do, we don't need to do the same thing with eco-critical. You could, and the nice thing is it keeps your parameters here. So all you have to do is change eco-critical, and you can do it again and change the output. And look, we've got our history, so you can see things you did, and if something went wrong, you can even click on it and see what you did, and like, oh yeah, look, I did do that wrong. Or what do we do back here? Okay, here's the equation that you entered. So that's really nice for redoing things, or like going back and fixing stuff if you have any problems. You can schedule stuff. I guess if you know that something's going to take a long time, schedule it to run while you're asleep. Very nice. Okay. Clip, good. Okay, buffer California military by 20 miles. All right, buffer. Again, it's in the quick section here. Buffer input CA military. Distance 20 miles. Great. Oh, let's do dissolve to a single feature. Nice. So usually in desktop, when you buffer stuff, each segment comes up as or each polygon produces a different feature. And it can be a big old pain for segmented features, like this one might cause problems. But this dissolves them into a single feature, which is cool. For this one, I guess it doesn't really matter what you do, but you can see how it works here. And there it is. Okay, so that's 20 miles around every military base. Okay, major roads and military roads to get major roads near military bases. These might be public or might be controlled. So this is just going to leave us with roads. So let's see if it's here. Intersect. Let's do the toolbox actually. So if you don't know where it is, usually who knows where it is? Oh, it's got favorites here. You can actually add tools to your favorites. Okay, input is, what is it? Military buffer. And major roads. Good. Okay. And that's going to be mil roads. Or military roads. Whatever. That's fine. Run. Nice, nice. Okay. Okay. So now we can turn off the military buffer. Turn military roads is on, and then turn on eco-critical, and we're going to do an intersect. Nope, select by location. So it's just map over here. Select by location. So input features. This is a little bit different than it was in desktop. The little I button here. The features that will be evaluated. This selection will be applied to this, so this is what you're selecting. So we want eco-critical. Selecting features. This is what you're using to select, which is mil roads. Distance, you could apply a buffer if you want. You could do add to current, remove. We're just doing this. You can invert it, that's nice. And then apply. And as it turns out, pretty much all of the critical habitat space in California is located on or around a military base. Okay, so we've identified what we wanted to, which is the parts of these open spaces that are susceptible to military use. Which, like, you have training, you have hiking training, but then there's also the potential for dumping, which may or may not happen anymore. I grew up in Tustin. We have the Tustin air base that was down here. And like a big part of it right now is just brownfield, where they dumped all the, I don't know, jet fuel and oil and leftover crud. There's housing surrounding the brownfield, but there's a giant brownfield there. So I'm sure they do that at pretty much every military base. Okay, so this section of the video was really just to remind you where those different geoprocessing tools were. Again, analysis tools, you can find them all here. The next part of the lab, you're going to do pretty much all without video. You do not need to turn in this map. I'm okay if you don't. It doesn't look great. If you were going to turn it in, you'd probably want to clip ecoregions to California and modify your colors, obviously, and make them look better. And then you'd go insert new layout, probably letter because it's California, and then map frame with this. You're supposed to drag, I clicked. And it looks something like that. But again, you do not have to turn this one in. But let's read through this section. So, part B, you're doing it on your own. It's critical thinking problem, and you're going to be using these analysis or geoprocessing tools. Analysis, geoprocessing. It's site selection. Site selection is a very common task in GIS, where any business, government, developer, real estate person, you trying to buy a home, has the problem where you want to find plots of land or properties that meet specific criteria. And that list of criteria really could be anything. And as long as you can find layers that satisfy your criteria, you can do site selection using it. It's a very common task. There's a whole bunch of GIS firms that did this. I had one student one year. They worked for some company that, like, a big part of what they did was identify locations that met certain criteria. And every time they got, I don't know, money, they would do this search over and over again. And for that student's final project, they identified all the potential locations in the LA area, and kind of it's probably just negated like the need for I don't know, a whole bunch of people at their job. So this is a bunch of powerful tools. So what you're going to be doing is you need to identify land in San Bernardino County, California, that is in the ecosystem Mojave Desert, in the management agency, BLM, Bureau of Land Management, that is within 20 miles of a major road. So to do that, you're going to be using all the data that you have already. We can remove this one, mill roads, keep major roads. We can remove military buffer. We don't need that. We can remove military. We don't need that. Remove critical. Remove bases. We want fedland, ecoregions, counties, and states. And major roads. So using these layers, you're going to essentially query out San Bernardino County, California, it's already done, BLM out of Fedland, Mojave Desert out of ecoregion, and then major roads. So it's going to be doing those set of queries, and then a buffer and a couple intersects and maybe a dissolve and that's probably it. And once you finish that, you're just going to make a simple layout. So again, insert new layout. add in a map frame. Did it again. And then you'll export that map using right here. Here's the export tools once you get it. And then you're going to put this on a half page of a Word document, and then keep track of the steps that you take to do this process, because you're going to write a paragraph explaining the steps that it took to solve that problem, and then submit it. So this is really good practice figuring out on your own basic logic, spatial relationships. You might get a GIS job where a lot of what you do is similar things to this, where find me spots that meet these requirements, and that's it. So keep track of what you do, write a paragraph. If you want it to be bullet points, I guess that's okay, but paragraph is preferred. Brief, specific, to the point, half a page, and submit to Canvas. All right, good luck. Don't forget to like and subscribe, of course.